by 3. Ryan Legnova with 23 points. Later, Mutov Yaru hits the turnaround jumper in the paint. The Cats go up by 4. Well, Pickham's roaring back. Final 30 seconds of the game. Jamie Robinson in the corner for 3. It's good. That ties it up. And the game goes into overtime. Then in overtime, it was all Pittsburgh. Talib Zana goes off the glass for 2 right here. And Pittsburgh comes from behind to beat Villanova 73-64. Joining us now for our tournament report brought to you by Hyundai from Philahoops.com, Aaron Bracy. Welcome back to the show. And we just saw Nova lose to Pitt in overtime, a very tough loss. Couple that with the loss to Seton Hall. The tournament chances not looking so good.
Yeah, they're still on the bubble, Lesley, but they face an uphill battle from here. Those 2 losses, especially those Seton Hall loss, they're really going to look back at that loss, and I think that's the one that's really going to bother them in the offseason. I was there for that game. It happened 10 feet in front of me, and it happened so fast, I still hardly can believe it. They were up, they were up 4 with 18 seconds left, and Seton Hall somehow managed to score 5 points like that, and then losing today at Pitt on the road. They still have a chance, but they have Georgetown at home on Wednesday, and Georgetown is one of the hottest teams in the country right now. It has turned into a must-win. So I think personally that they're going to have to beat Georgetown, which is going to be a big challenge, and then win two games in the Big East tournament to get in. So I think it's going to be a second straight season without an NCAA tournament berth for Villanova. But they have proven this year that they can win big games. They've beaten Louisville, they've beaten Syracuse at home. So Villanova fans still can have some hope in that.
Okay, how desperate is this team, though, and what does this mean for Jay Wright to go a second season with no tournament?
Well, I think actually this year they have overachieved. No one really expected them to do much this year. So what Jay Wright has done with this team, I think they've played above anyone else in the city. They've done more with less. And so I think Jay has done a great job there this year. And I think really Villanova fans have a lot to look forward to from the future. This team this year, Lesley, got back to playing what they like to say is Villanova basketball, diving for loose balls, playing as a team. Things they didn't do last year, they did this year, which is why they were able to have the record they have. They have 18 wins, 9 wins in the Big East, more than I think many people expected. Still, when you get right to the precipice of the NCAA tournament, you want to get in. They still have a chance, but I think they're going to be on the outside looking in just because it's Georgetown coming in is going to be very tough on Wednesday.
Yeah, it sure is. Well, how about LaSalle? For the first time in a very long time, we could say they're the best team.
I think LaSalle has the best chance to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament of anyone in the city. None of the players were probably born. Some of them might have been since 1992 is the last time they made the NCAA tournament. They have 20 wins right now. They're in the driver's seat, Lesley. I think they need to win 2 games to get into the NCAA tournament, one of which is going to be Wednesday against GW. They should win that game at home. And then they have St. Louis on the road. That's going to be a tough game. They win one of those last 2.
I was going to say, are they automatically in if they win?
If they win one of those last 2, they get a bye into the A-10 first round of the A-10 tournament. And I think they're going to need to win 1 game in the A-10 tournament to secure that NCAA berth. If they just win one of their last 2 regular season games, they still might get in, but I think they're going to be sweating it out.
Does this surprise you, how good they've been this season?
Not at all. I've been on this LaSalle team from the beginning. They've been growing for the last 2 years. When they added Ramon Galloway last year, he transferred from South Carolina. He added a whole other dimension to their team. They really were able to score the ball without him, but now he's added the defensive presence that they did not have. They have a great combination of offense, defense. They're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league, and they are the best defensive 3-point team in the league. They score 73 points a game, which is 3rd in the Atlantic 10, and I think Ramon Galloway has really made a big difference. They have 4 guards. They're going to create all kinds of matchup problems for teams. They start 4 guards. These guys can shoot, they can score, and they defend, which is something LaSalle hasn't done in the past. So people have been asking, like, is LaSalle going to get in? And I believe they are going to get in, but I think the bigger question is, like, how far can they go?
Well, that was the next question, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a team they have the components that you need in the NCAA tournament. They have great guard play, they defend, and I think this is a team that could really make a run in the NCAA tournament, especially this year without any real, I would say, really powerful powerhouse teams that anyone's going to say is going to run away with the tournament this year. So they have some work to do, but I'm really high on the Explorers' chances.
Okay, the Temple Owls, every game I feel like is such a roller coaster ride with these guys. What is going on?
Well, they had those 5 straight games that were decided by 1 point, and then the next game they were doing blood pressure checks at the Lear Course Center. So I think they've driven some of their fans a little bit crazy this year. But Temple it's another really good Temple team. They've made 5 straight NCAA tournaments. They're in a position to make the 6th. They have 21 wins, 9 wins in the Atlantic 10. And the thing about Temple this year, though, is they can score the ball. And with Khalif Wyatt, he's the best player in the city. I think he's going to be the A-10 player of the year. Averages almost 20 points a game. But what Temple hasn't done super well is they haven't defended well. They give up like 68 points a game, which is 12th in the Atlantic 10. And one thing that they're just starting now to do is get more help for Khalif. They haven't had a ton of help from him at times this year, and some of the role players have really stepped up of late, which has made a difference.
Right, and it feels like their fate depends on whether he's having a good night or not.
Right, I mean, he's rescued them down the stretch several times, but he can't do it by himself, and I think of late, Scooty Randall has really stepped up. In the last 6 games, he's averaged about 15.6 points, and you remember back to the LaSalle game, it wasn't Wyatt who won that LaSalle game for them. It was the role players. It was Scooty Randall. It was Raleigh Hollis Jefferson, who had a career day. So Temple needs more of that, I think, to do well. My concern about Temple, my biggest concern is their lack of defense going into the NCAA tournament. But with a guy like Khalif Wyatt, I think they're going to be in any game that they play.
Okay, St. Joe's 1 win away from the A-10 tournament.
Right.
Any surprise there?
It's been a difficult and disappointing season for St. Joe's. Many people, including myself, thought they were the best team in the city in the preseason. They were picked to win the Atlantic 10 by the coaches and the media, and right now they have a 500 record in the league. They still have not even clinched a spot in the Atlantic 10 tournament. They need 1 more win to do so with 2 left. I think they're going to do that. They have Rhode Island at home and at Charlotte. Neither of those teams are considered one of the better teams in the league. So I think they're going to get to the A-10 tournament, but in order to get to the NCAA tournament, which is really what everyone thought this team, including myself, would do this year, they're going to need to win the Atlantic 10 tournament. That's asking a lot because they have to win 4 games in 4 days, and they have not shown consistency this year as a team. But one thing, they have the talent to do it. They just have to put it all together.
Which is a tough task. All right, nationally, who do you think are the #1 seeds right now?
Well, it's been a really topsy-turvy season nationally. There's been no team that's really kind of taking the ball, really taking the bull by the horns and run with it. But I would say right now you're looking at Gonzaga and Indiana are probably the 2 locks to get a #1 as of right now. And then there's about 4 or 5 teams that could fight for it. I'm going to go with Georgetown, and I'm going to say Kansas right now. Those would be my 4 #1s. But there's the people at Duke and Michigan and Florida who also could make a case for #1. So there's still a lot of season to be played out to see what happens.
And locally, LaSalle.
LaSalle is a team, I think, that has a chance to make the deepest run. I think LaSalle and Temple will get into the tournament. I don't think Villanova will. I think LaSalle and Temple will be your 2 representatives from Philly. And I think LaSalle has a chance, like I said, just because of their guard play. Watch out for Ramon Galloway and Tyreek Doran. Those are 2 of the best guards you're going to see in college basketball. And I hope they have a chance to display it on the national stage.
All right, Aaron Bracy, thank you so much for joining us. Aaron Bracy from Philahoops.com, and you can follow Aaron. I strongly suggest you do on Twitter at Aaron Bracy. Well, coming up next on the Toyota Sports Zone, our Beasley Reese profile.